Hello, Oracles! What an amazing day today. Tesla closing up 9.35% and closing over $700 at 7-11-11. Now, what's hilarious about this is Elon on Twitter had posted the meme that I had seen going around of a 7-Eleven gas station having gas at $7.11. Elon posts it, and then we finish at 7-11-11 for the day. I mean, how many more signs do you need that this is where you need to be investing? Not financial advice, but my goodness, what a great day. Elon also had an interview with Bloomberg today, and they discussed a lot of things, and I'm going to go over a bunch of those right now. But looking at the market overall, I mean, the entire market was up, so it was great. All the indices were up. We are looking like, some positivity going forward. There's rumors it looks like we're going to have the Chinese tariffs could be lifted on July 6th. And the anticipation of this going into it is potentially what's causing this little bit of a rally. Oil basically stayed steady today. Crypto did climb pretty high. It did fade at the end of the day with the rest of the market, but still a massive run up. So this was great news. And then if we get to July 6th and they do let those tariffs lift, we could see a little push past that. So it looks like the market is anticipating a bit of a run going into early July and then a sell-off after that, maybe going into Q2 earnings. And so getting into the interview, Elon was asked about the recession and if he thought that we had a recession coming. And he said, it might not happen, but it's more than likely going to happen. There's high probability that we will see a recession coming soon. And, most of us on here believe that we are going to see it. And Elon had given us his thoughts in the past about it, about how it's actually a good thing. It's inevitable. It needs to happen from time to time. And right now it's not a bad, it's never a good time to have a recession, but it needs to happen. So if it happens now, so be it, we can flush out the dead companies and move on. And then he was asked about Twitter, and obviously a lot of this is going on. And we got news about the fact that Twitter is going to be holding a vote with all their shareholders about Elon purchasing Twitter and allowing it. So, Elon spoke about the fact that, he wants this to be a public forum where everybody can feel comfortable and not afraid to speak their mind, and kind of gave some insights on how he wants it to be run. Looking like he would like to have 80% of North America and half of the world on the platform, which is like 3.5 billion people, which is completely insane to think about. And while Tesla doesn't advertise, obviously a lot of us on Twitter know that, we get a lot of advertising from Tesla on Twitter, just because it's spoken about so much and Elon is so prevalent on the platform. So if half the world goes over to Twitter, that's just more advertising for Tesla, especially if they can correct a lot of the issues where there's negative ads and stuff that get put out there and negative headlines for Tesla. And obviously we can debate the PR all day long about whether Tesla should have one or not. But if Twitter goes this route and it becomes an open sourced algorithm for everything that is being said, it really could mitigate a lot of the negativity that is out there and really spread more truth than anything, which is really a huge battle that Tesla is facing right now, is so many people spreading FUD and falsehoods that aren't being corrected. So maybe a PR team is necessary, maybe Elon just taking over Twitter can fix that. We shall see in the future. He was asked if he was thinking about becoming CEO, and he did state, which actually was nice to hear, about the fact that he said between Twitter, he would be more a driver of the product. And, he doesn't, much like he said, like with Tesla and SpaceX, he doesn't want to be CEO. He doesn't want all of the mundane stuff that they have to do. He wants to be a driver of the product. And that's really what he is for Tesla and SpaceX. So that tells me that when it comes to all the CEO paperwork type stuff, other people are taking care of that. Elon is really just a driver of the product, which to me is huge news, because while there really isn't a second in charge when you're looking at Tesla, if somebody else is taking care of all the CEO type duties, that's huge for Tesla. And then Elon was asked about competition and if, he thought that the article that Bloomberg put out about VW overtaking them in 3 years was going to come to fruition. And Elon gave him crap in return and says, well, aren't you the one who wrote that article? And of course the guy says yes. And, Elon said no, he does not believe that VW is going to take them over. And he said that when it comes to China, they have some very strong products that are coming out of China, and we could probably see a lot more products coming out of there. Very strong manufacturing going on in China right now, and Elon feels that they have very impressive manufacturers over there. But even them, he doesn't see them as any real competition in the future. He says the real competition that they have right now is supply chain and logistics. That's it. It is not any other manufacturer out there, whether it's legacy auto or new startups. Doesn't matter. That's not the competition. It is overcoming the supply chain, logistics for materials, and lithium was a big one that he had mentioning, the choking bottlenecks that they have that they foresee in the future and how they can overcome those before they even become an issue to begin with. And he said they're working as fast as humanly possible to build factories, which we already know they're cranking out expansions in multiple places with Berlin and Austin. They're looking at Shanghai expansion, going to be starting construction very soon, even though it's actually a new building. So many different things that are going on, which definitely tells me that they have multiple new factories on their radar in the future. And he says they're building them as fast as humanly possible. So now this just takes us up to the next level of Optimus. Optimus, coming out and changing things because humans can only work as fast as humans can. How fast can Optimus work? Well, we'll see hopefully at AI Day 2, where he said that they should be coming out with a prototype and showing us what they can actually accomplish. They've got a very strong team working on this, and they do have some other exciting things that they do want to share at AI Day 2. And Elon said, realistically, what AI Day 2 is designed for is to show the world that Tesla is much more than just a car company. They are the most compelling AI company in the world, and they're trying to get as many engineers possible to come and work for them because that is where the future is with AI. And they did discuss the cutting of their workforce and laying off people, and he said yes, they're looking at the next 3 months laying off about 10% of their salaried workforce, which is about 3 to 3.5% of their total workforce. He said, because they grew so fast, they actually grew the salaried workforce faster than it really should have been, and so it's a little lopsided between salaried and hourly, so they're just kind of rebalancing that. That's really all it is. And he said that's just near term. In the year from now, they will actually have a higher headcount in both salaried and hourly workforce. And he said things are just so difficult in the headlines because anything Tesla does gets headline news for everything. Little, trivial lawsuits like they're seeing for these layoffs are so minute, but they're getting headline news. And as he said, somebody falls off of a bicycle, Biden, that gets headline news, and they're overtaking stuff like that. So you've got all these different things, they're all about sensational news in the headlines. It's just about getting as many clicks as possible. And realistically, when you think about when it comes to entertainers, they say no publicity is bad publicity because it keeps your name relevant. And so when it comes to Tesla and you think about advertising, Tesla gets so much headline news for so much trivial stuff, they don't need to advertise because they get the publicity. So their name is always out there and always prevalent because of everything that's going on. So whether it's positive or negative, they don't need to advertise because everybody knows the name. And Elon said that himself and some others do own Bitcoin. So this does basically confirm that they do still hold it and they probably have not sold any of the Bitcoin out, which is fine. So they're going to face the impairments for Q2 earnings. But he said it's such a small amount that it's really trivial. And then asked about Dogecoin and how he supports it. And he says, look, he goes, I have never told anyone that they should invest in any crypto. But when he walks around the factories and the people on the factory floor are asking him to support Dogecoin, he does. This just shows how much he supports all of his staff. I mean, he says that Tesla, obviously accepts it for merchandise. He says SpaceX will be accepting Dogecoin for merchandise as well. And he definitely supports it. So he owns some and he supports it. That's really it, but I mean, just going to show how he feels about the employees and how much he wants to support them, that he'll push this in that direction. So I love this interview. I think we got some great information out of it, a lot more clarity on a lot of different points when it comes to Twitter, the layoffs, and competition and how Elon feels about it. Lots of great information in this 20-minute interview. I will put that link in the description down below if you guys want to watch the entire thing. Definitely worth the 20-minute watch, so check it out down there. Otherwise, today has been fantastic. Love being as green as we were. I'm going to dive into some more of the technical analysis and some other news in the morning so that you guys can catch up for that stuff. But had that little fade into the end of the day. We'll see how we trade at the end of the week. I'll dive into more information in the morning. Otherwise, let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you guys had a chance to watch the interview. Let me know what you guys think about Elon's feelings on competition and how competition isn't the competitors and other EV makers, but rather the supply chain. Let me know your thoughts on that. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. We do have a Discord chat. That link is in the description. And if you'd like to support the channel any further, I do have a Patreon. That link is also in the description. Thank you so much. Have a great one.